U.S. Navy quietly has stood up a program office to begin figuring out what the sailing branch needs in a new manned fighter jet. One leading think tank in Washington: whatever the Navy buys to replace today's FA-18EF Super Hornet, it should emphasize range and speed, with low observability being a secondary concern. In other words, it need not be a stealth fighter. Not as long as it can fly far and fast while carrying a useful payload. The Navy's current warplanes are likely to hang around through the 2030s. The fleet's 9 carrier air wings at present possess around 70 planes, each 44 FA-18EF, 5 EA-18G jamming planes, 5 E-2 radar planes, a pair of C-2 transports and around 19 H-60 helicopters. New CVM-22B tiltrotors are replacing the C-2 and MQ-25 tanker drones are due to arrive in the mid-2020s. A single squadron of around 10 F-35C stealth fighters eventually will replace one unit of Super Hornet in each wing. The Navy wants the new Next-Generation Air Dominance Plane, or FAXX, to be ready in time to replenish the remaining Super Hornet squadrons once the newer FA-18EFs start wearing out in the 2030s. To that end, Naval Air Systems Command this year established the NGAD office. The program it oversees could end up spending nearly $70 billion through the 2050s to buy potentially hundreds of new fighters. Today there are around 600 FA-18s in the Navy inventory. The Navy hasn't specified exactly what it wants the FAXX to do. But the Center for Strategic and Budgetary Assessments in Washington, D.C., has ideas. The fleet will require carrier-based aircraft with the ability to intercept enemy aircraft or cruise missiles and engage them with either air-to-air missiles or directed energy weapons. Drones that can loiter for long periods of time, waiting for enemy forces to fly into their sensor and weapons range, could handle some counter-air missions, but 2 missions probably require a fast, manned fighter self-escort and offensive counter-air. CSBA assumes that defeating numerically superior Chinese or Russian forces will require Navy warplanes to employ large numbers of munitions. To achieve larger salvos, attack aircraft will need to approach targets more closely where they can use smaller, shorter-range weapons. The problem is, at short range the attacking planes are likely to run headlong into a dense array of overlapping radars and passive sensors that would challenge the low observability features incorporated into today's strike fighters and bombers. In other words, emphasizing stealth at the expense of other qualities probably is a bad idea. To help it defend itself, the Navy should equip the new fighter with sensor countermeasures, that is, jammers and self-defense weapons such as anti-missile missiles and lasers, CSBA recommended. The Navy reportedly already has decided its new fighter will be a brand new design rather than a derivative of the FA-18 or F-35. If the service follows CSBA advice, its future FAXX could look a lot different than the non-stealthy and short-range FA-18 and stealthy and short-range F-35 do. Indeed, a fast, long-legged and reasonably maneuverable next-gen fighter could end up looking a lot like the Navy's last fast, long-legged and reasonably maneuverable fighter did.